Hi, this is your host Shubham Tiwari, and I welcome you to Education Plus, a show brought to you by Wonder Published Magazine, where we try to bring to you the institutional perspective to the discourse around education and, more importantly, education technology. Our today's guest is the head of primary and PYP coordinator at Abdul Qadir Molla International School, Bangladesh. Welcome, Asnaha Farheen, to Wonder Published Magazine.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shubham, and thanks for having me here. And it's a great pleasure to be, discussing some of the great things that you are doing. And I'm too excited to answer the questions that you have.
We are honored to have you, ma'am. So, since you're joining us all the way from Bangladesh, so can you tell us about the state of primary education in Bangladesh?
All right. So, yeah, moving ahead by introducing myself. So, as Mr. Shubham said, that I have joined all the way from Bangladesh, but I'm an Indian. I'm a proud Indian,
Yeah.
and I'm working here in Bangladesh as head of primary and PYP coordinator in an international school. So, when it comes to international school, it's same everywhere. But the educational standards in Bangladesh, in National School of Bangladesh, is not that good.
Okay.
So here, the school education is divided into three levels.
Right.
So the primary level and the junior school level and the secondary level. And at the end of each level, so, it concludes with an exam. So
Okay.
imagine, an exam, a public exam that is known as PEC for primary kids.
Right.
So this is the scenario here. So it's more about rote learning,
Right.
and when it comes to quality education, yes, Bangladesh is struggling as like most of the developing countries.
Yeah.
So this is how it is. And the educational policy was last revised in 2010. So there
Okay.
is, still a
Not
room
that
of
early. Yeah.
improvement.
Hmm.
And when it comes to international school, it's same. The quality is far better than the normal national schools.
Okay. So, how does it compare with Indian system when we see, like, we recently had our new education policy?
Yeah.
So, how do you rate it?
Okay, so I will not be rating it. So I'll give you a comparison instead. So when it comes to NEP seems quite promising, and it seems like that we are going to into an era of education of complete reimagination of the entire setup which we have now. So if we compare with the NEP and what is forthcoming for us,
Yeah.
so there is no as such improvement in Bangladesh, not for the schools which are in rural areas or suburban areas. And there is a divide between these areas. So the educational setup in rural areas is very very different from the the capital city Dhaka.
Okay.
So this is how it is. And when it comes to India, yes, the India has a well developed educational system, and we are actually into a progressive mode. And with this NAP, we will even move towards the better educational system. So
Right.
still it is on paper.
Right.
So there is a hope, but it is a ray of hope for us.
Okay. Wonderful. So, you're also the PYP coordinator at the school.
Yes.
Please tell our audience, what is PYP, entail, and then yeah.
Okay. So PYP is again a program of International Baccalaureate. International Baccalaureate has a four program.
Okay.
So PYP is primary years program, and then
Okay.
they have middle years program, then DP diploma program, and the career program. So I am head of primary years program here at Abdul Qadir Mullah International School. So PYP is learner centric, curriculum, and we shouldn't call it curriculum. It's a
Okay.
philosophy, because there is no
Okay.
prescribed textbook, prescribed syllabus. It is all about the context and culture of the school and country where it is, right? So we design our own syllabus. Syllabus is learner centric, and when we talk about that, there are no assessments as such. So then parents and people, those who don't know about IBPYP, then they think that there is no learning. So this is not the case. So PYP is a curriculum where learning revolve around the learners. So it is a completely learner centric approach. It
Okay.
is transdisciplinary in nature. So learning is
Right.
not compartmentalized. Okay, let's learn maths, let's do science, let's
Right.
do social studies. So it is more conceptualized. We have themes. So
Hmm.
it is again not a thematic learning. So it is a very concept driven, a new approach of learning and teaching.
Right.
And when we say talk about PYP, it is more about approaches to learning.
Right.
learning how to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, a really, really new thing for me, because I'm not a product of an IB school. I
Okay.
have been into normal school, normal CBSE schools, where we have textbooks. And
Yeah.
when very first time after completing my graduation, I got a chance to visit the only IB school in my native place, Bhopal,
Okay.
and that pulled me towards teaching.
Okay.
So this is how it happened. So from a MSc, chemistry postgraduate, I turned into a teacher. Then I
Right.
started as a PYP educator, and then I moved up to this level. So it
Wonderful.
is a beautiful, beautiful program, which basically, not only confined to gathering knowledge, rather, developing the 21st century skills,
Right.
developing the habits of mind, developing the young learners as individual, which can make this place a better place to live in.
Wonderful. Okay. And I think you were recently recognized as Microsoft Innovative Educator Master Trainer as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Many congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. So
So,
yeah,
yeah.
if you talk about leveraging technology and building my learning muscle when it comes to
Mhm.
technology,
Yeah.
it all brought into scene after this pandemic. We have been shifted from classroom to classroom suddenly.
Glassroom. You
It
said
was
glassroom.
I call it classroom. So
Okay.
it was so sudden. We didn't even have time. So here in Bangladesh, I can recall 16th of March,
Mhm.
they have suddenly put forward the lockdown thing, and then it was all remote learning.
Right.
And we had our visit. The school was not authorized that time. The school was a
Mhm.
candidate school, so we had our entire visit in a remote way. So we were one of the first school ever in history of IB who got
Wow.
recognized through remote learning. So our visit was entire remote. It was a remote
Right.
authorization visit. In the
Mhm.
month of April, we became an authorized school, and we are, I think, the sixth school in Bangladesh who is having the IB program, IB
Wow.
primary years program, and we are the only one in this district. So it was a
So,
huge achievement for us. From since then,
yeah.
I started looking into the infusion of technology to transform learning, because it is much needed. So it started from training myself
Right.
to training teachers, and then to parents
I
and
was
the
coming to that
learners.
only. Like, how did you,
Yeah,
organize these things? That earlier
yeah,
in the pandemic, like April was, the initial time.
yes,
Many schools
yes,
had no idea how to go ahead with it.
true.
So, can you tell us more about like what tools did you use at that time? Now, what you are using right now, and
All
how
right.
kids are responding to it?
So at that time we had, because IB schools have, the digital portfolios and
Yeah.
all those, and we were already having our evidence collection, for the verification visit. So we had certain tools, but we didn't have a learning management system. So
Yeah.
first of all, we decided, Google Classroom as a learning management system, but for collaboration, we were using Microsoft Teams. And
Yeah.
then along with Google Classroom is a basic setup. It gives you a name of the classroom where you have all the student listed, and you can assign the task and all. But still, there is a lot more to be done. So for that, we are using Edpuzzle. For our video lessons, we
Okay.
are using Nearpod and PeerDAC for delivering interactive presentation to
Mm-hmm.
students.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, for collaboration, we are using Microsoft Teams.
Right.
And there are other resources as well which we are using. For example, for providing feedback, we have Floop. So we
Parents,
use
right?
Floop for feedback,
Yeah.
not feedback to students.
Two students.
So
Okay.
we are using Floop, and there are, again for literacy, we have Literacy Planet. So we are using, variety of tools.
Right.
But the use of tools should be relevant. We should not go gaga about just implement what
Everything.
all
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have learned.
Yeah.
It
You're right.
should be very in a very selected manner.
Mm-hmm. So, is there any difference between digitalization in IB schools and the national schools? Let's say, what's the difference between the infrastructure? What's the level of technology in schools?
There is a huge trench if you see, in the national school and the
Yeah.
IB school. So IB schools are known for the infrastructure, but it doesn't mean that good building will make a school an IB
You're right.
school.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to IB school, we call, the learning environment, and it is as per Reggio Emilia approach also, the learning environment is a third teacher. So
Sorry,
when we
ma'am. Which approach you said, Razia?
Reggio Emilia approach.
Reggio Emilia.
So yeah, so when we say see the learning environment, so learning environment as like the normal environment, we have biotic and abiotic components. So not only the walls of classroom create learning environment,
Right.
rather what type of learning spaces do you have? If you have a row setup like we used to have in a classroom, like rows, we are sitting in the
Yeah.
rows and we cannot
Conventional
move here
style.
and there, and a sage on the stage is dictating us. So this is not what IB is. So in IB, students sit in groups and they are involved into things in which they are interested in. So now IB has also, has also been through a change. Means in the last few years, we were into differentiated learning, where we used to differentiate the learning as per
Wow.
the learning needs and style. But now IB is more into what kids want to do, what learners want to do. So it has become more personalized. So it doesn't mean that if I have 9 or 10 students in my class, I will have 10 lesson plans. It's about what do they want to learn, what do
Okay.
they want to inquire. So if you will see many PhDs happening in IB classroom. So when it comes to infrastructure, libraries are very well set up, and
Yeah.
then IB schools are more technically sound. We have different platforms where learners can use infuse technology with their learning. And when it comes to national schools, teachers are less trained, and when it comes to supervision, they don't worry how much children are learning. They
You're right.
actually teach syllabus, they don't teach child.
Yeah.
And
Anything
IB
academic. Yeah.
is all about the holistic development of the learners. So
Yeah.
yes, there is a difference in the infrastructure also, and in the pedagogies also, how do we teach. So in national school, there is still, they have sage on the stage model, and
Yeah.
we have guide on the side. So teacher is a part of the class, teacher is a learner, and teacher will always be a learner. We are not the only one, the sole dictator of knowledge. So this is how there are functional differences both in both environments.
I really like the term guide on the side. I mean, wonderful. How did you manage that kind of environment of learning on, let's say on these platforms during this pandemic?
It's very challenging when it comes to monitor the entire thing.
Yeah.
So I spend hours sitting monitoring those things. But with technology it has become easy. If I have been investing time in understanding how we can use technology to monitor technology. So it's like that. So if when it comes to Google Classroom, we have complete analytics, that what is happening, how many students are turning in the assignments, how I have class observation, one-to-one class observations as well.
Okay.
Some are what should I say, surprise observation, some are scheduled observation, because at the same time we need to understand the well-being, that teachers are also human beings. So when I enter the class, I don't enter as an evaluator. They don't have
Correct.
fear that today ma'am is going to observe us. Rather, I go there and we have a designed, reflection sheet. So I reflect on it using two things, the plus and delta. So what are the
Wow.
positive things that I have observed,
Mm-hmm.
and what are the deltas that you can improve on? So
Wow.
it makes the entire process, although it is an evaluation, but it makes it easy for them, that yes, if she is entering the class, she will also be observing the positive side. So there's no fear. Even students are very much comfortable that ma'am is there and she's observing us. So that kind of fearless environment, and
Right.
that has come with the trust. First thing in an IB school is collaboration. You should replace me by we. There should
Okay.
be no me. It's all about we, what we are doing as a team. And the second thing is trust. So the leadership, because I don't call myself a normal leader or a manager or a coordinator. It's all about pedagogical leadership.
Right.
So I should wear a hat of teacher all the time. So this is how it's going on, and it's a journey, I should say.
Yeah. So, ma'am, what about this international network that you talked about, international curriculum of,
Uh,
so there are
in
schools, I think, all over this Indian subcontinent. So, can you give us an overview of that system?
Okay, so let's start with India, right?
Yeah.
So India now currently has almost, when it's because I deal with international baccalaureate, so I have more information about it. So
Yeah.
India has almost now 186 IB schools.
Okay.
All the metro cities have IB school. If you go to Bangalore, you will
Mm-hmm.
say an IB school in every street.
In every
And
street. Wow. Okay.
yes, there are many IB schools as compared to other city, and South has become, a hub of IB schools. So it's
Wow.
my last assignment was in South only. I was in South India before coming to
Before Dhaka.
Bangladesh.
Okay.
No, I was in Tamil Nadu.
Oh,
Before
Tamil Nadu.
coming here, I worked over there also for 2 years. So then if we move to, the other metro cities like Delhi, Bombay, so there are many IB schools, and most of the parents, they want their wards to get educated in these schools. The reason is the quality of education,
Right.
second, student teacher ratio, and the compatibility with the other educational systems. If a learner is doing his or her schooling in normal school, then it is very difficult for him or her to transition into any other educational setup. So people with good financial background, they do prefer IB schools.
Yeah.
And there are many, even IGCSE is also coming up very well in India, ICBSC, and in Bangladesh there are only 8 IB schools, and there are few IGCSE school. And if we talk about Pakistan, because I'm also network chair of India Pakistan
Right.
Bangladesh network,
Right.
so there are 30 schools, 30 IB schools. So when we see
Good.
India,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's growing in number.
Right.
So when I started my career as an IB educator, I think that time only 80 schools were there,
In
and
India.
now it is growing in number.
Right.
And when we talk to parents, parents have become more well informed. They want a healthy student teacher ratio. When we walk into a normal classroom of a traditional school, what is the student teacher ratio? 35
Right.
is to 1, then 40 is to 1,
Mm-hmm.
and it's huge.
Yeah.
Teachers cannot cater to the need of the learners in such classroom. So
Right.
parents, like of this generation, they want their wards to have that personalized attention,
Yes.
and the educational standard has to be more well developed, and these
Right.
schools have proven it.
Right. Absolutely. So, would you say, I mean, in the northern part of India, there is more
Yes.
space for to grow this kind of learning because
Yeah.
because of the lack of infrastructure, I guess. What do you think?
Sorry, I didn't get you, Shubham.
Uh,
Mr. Shubham.
like there is, you said that South India is becoming an example for this
Yes.
kind of model of teaching. So, would you say North is slightly behind, or there is much work to be
No,
done?
when I say South, I'm saying that South is becoming a hub of international school. There is a race, international schools are coming up in Salem and Chennai. And now earlier there were, few schools. Now Delhi has IB schools.
Correct.
Bombay has IB schools. Madhya Pradesh, I belong to Madhya Pradesh.
Right.
And Madhya Pradesh has only 2 IB schools.
Two.
One
Two
is
big
in
states. Yeah.
Bhopal and another one is in Indore, Chaitram International School. Then we have Ambani International School, RKDF, all these are in
Right.
Mumbai. So all the metro cities in North already are having, but the small cities, they don't have IB schools. And apart from that, IB had been through a very hard time in getting recognition in Indian universities. Earlier, there were, a huge problem in getting admission after getting a DP diploma program, the certificate, student were facing problem, and now it has become very easy. Now we have around, I think, 145 schools in India having the diploma program.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So, going ahead, the technology, how can it help coordinators like you, teachers like you?
So, we realized in this tough times, which were, really challenging, and things moved with a fast pace, that we didn't, have time to think over like what is best for us. So we experimented with everything. So before the pandemic, we had, certain things in place. As I told you, that we
Yeah.
have the learning management system. We were not using it the way we are using it now.
Right.
And apart from that, IB schools need a complete setup which can help in unit planning, then delivering the students progress to parents. So complete planning management system is needed. So the technology like Toddle, you must have heard about Toddle, ManageBack, most of the IB schools have these two platforms. So they basically deal with unit planning,
Mm-hmm.
maintaining the records of student learning. We don't have, textbooks, as I told you, but students, they do a lot of inquiry. So they have their journals, they have their
Okay.
portfolios.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, we need, a system in place which can capture those wonderful movements of, students' inquiries.
Right.
And then the complete lesson plan. So how do teachers plan? They just don't plan and teach. They do a pre-planning.
Mm-hmm.
Then that plan is so flexible that it keeps on changing. And
Right.
after completing the unit, they do the reflection part. So the planning has two parts. So everything has to be there in a system where a coordinator like me can access it, and I can see like how it has been covered both horizontally and vertically. When I say horizontally, it means grade level, and
Mm-hmm.
when I say vertically, it is across grade. So for that, we either use Toddle in IB schools or ManageBag.
Right.
Apart from that, when we don't have books like for phonics or for language, so we need to procure programs which help us, to gauge the students' knowledge in these areas. For example, I spoke about Literacy Planet. It
Yeah.
is a wonderful tool. It deals with all four strands of language learning: reading, writing, listening and speaking, and viewing and presenting. So it
Right.
is being catered by this wonderful platform that I said, Literacy Planet. And when it comes to collaboration,
Mm-hmm.
so Microsoft Teams is working well. We have all our meetings on Microsoft Teams, and now we are also having on Zoom.
Right.
We faced few issues, so Zoom is required for collaborative planning, and then for collaborative note taking, minutes
Yeah.
of meeting, we use Google Drive. And now when it comes to learning, it is both synchronous and asynchronous. Like, we have a complete school running, at the
Mm-hmm.
same time there are parents who are working parents. So
Yeah.
for those parents, we need self-paced or student-paced learning. So we use Nearpod or PeerDAC, where we develop presentation which student can access and learn through at their own pace. So for that, we are using these two tools. Apart from that, if you have experienced or if you have observed that students, they just watch video as a passive learner. So this type of use of technology is just a substitution of traditional approach.
Right.
So for that, we use Edpuzzle, which is an interactive platform. So if you're watching a video, it will pause, it will ask you a question, and until and unless if you don't answer the question, you cannot run the video. And after that, teacher can have a complete data, right? That what student have grasped, how many question has been answered by the learner. So this is how technology is helping. And I would like to add on, when it comes to technology, whenever a school is trying to implement technology, leverage technology to enhance or transform teaching and learning, we should keep the SAMR model developed by Rubin in mind.
Right.
That if you're using technology just for substitution, for example, we used to write in notepads and now it has become the Word doc. So are there any change? No. Still we are doing the same thing, we are making notes, right?
Right.
And then there come modifications. So now if we are writing our notes in the Google Docs, we are able to share it,
Right.
right? So that is modification. So now, as a learner or as a teacher, we always should have in mind that we need to level up our technology infusion, right?
Right.
So we need to move toward augmentation. So
Mm-hmm.
students should be should feel like designers, right? We
Wow.
can this
Good way
is
of
not
putting it. Yeah.
the only thing that we can do. So students can develop blog, that they can develop podcasts. So
Right.
technology has made it possible
Yeah.
now. And then reimagination, completely reimagining the learning environment and
Yeah.
making it more apt for the learner. So these are the four levels that we need to keep in mind while infusing technology, and these are the four levels which are, we have been guided with.
Wonderful.
So yeah.
Wonderful, ma'am. When you speak about library
Yeah.
in an institution like IB school, where there are no textbooks, as you said,
Yes.
where do libraries fit in this scheme?
Oh, such a nice question. So when I say there are no textbook, it doesn't mean that we don't need books. there are no
Correct.
prescribed books. So, for example, today we will do unit one, we will finish it off. These are the question answers that you need to do.
Right.
Rather, we have, unit of inquiry. So, in that unit of inquiry, for example, grade five is learning about civilization.
Okay.
And we too are the learners. I want to, discover about Egyptian civilization, but you want to, work into Greek civilization. So the library play a major role, a vital role. If
Right.
you I'm not a biology student, but I would like to, give you a metaphor. It is just like a mitochondria of the cell, the powerhouse
Wonderful.
of
Yeah.
the cell, because it acts as a hub. We call our library learning center. So both ICT and library work
Mm-hmm.
hand in hand to supply students with content
Mm-hmm.
which will support their inquiries. So we
Okay.
don't need textbooks, but yes, we need many books to support this kind of learning where
True.
students are choosing their topics and they're inquiring into it. So
Wonderful.
library is well equipped. Another thing which we have in our library is a professional development section. So we
Wow.
have a good, well-established professional development section because IB demands a lot.
Right.
Teaching in an IB school is not a cakewalk. So teachers has to be into a mode of learner. So teachers do a lot of professional development. Some led by me.
Yeah.
Some they themselves conduct. There are book talks and all those. So for that we have a well designed a professional development section. We have a huge library here. Apart from that, we have reference books. For
Right.
example, if I'm a teacher, say if I'm a grade 4 teacher, I need to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that in my class I'm catering to the national standard, the
Mm-hmm.
local standard, and the international standard. For
Okay.
that I need reference,
Yeah.
right? So I'm
Absolutely.
not using one book, rather I'm taking the best of the content from many platforms.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
Wonderful. And I was coming to that part of, being an educator at IB school.
Yeah.
How do you become eligible to teach at such a wonderful school?
So IB has its own, set of training. So
Okay.
generally, the graduates and the postgraduates like us,
Mm-hmm.
we get, into teaching in IB schools. And that time, if even if you have done a BEd, you
Mm-hmm.
have some mandatory trainings to be done,
Okay.
like making the PYP happen. And then there are categories: category one workshop, category two
Right.
workshop, category three workshop. So you have, and usually, all the IB schools, they run those programs. So they have to do those programs for their teachers, then only they
Mhm.
become eligible to
Okay.
teach in an IB school.
Okay. I think
So
government should support these kinds of, programs in order to
yes.
bring
So,
in.
IB in other countries works hand in hand with government.
Yeah.
So there are IB schools in America or in other region of the world which work, hand in hand with government. So even
Right.
the government schools can become the IB
Yeah.
schools,
They
and
can
it is
learn
it
from them.
is
Right.
yeah, it is much needed for a country like us. Everyone
True.
should have same rights towards education.
True. True, ma'am. So before I take my last question, you're also a mentor at Lausanne Learning.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about your role in that regard?
So yeah, I will definitely tell. So the thing is that when we transformed from, as I said, classroom to classroom, so
Classroom.
I observed that not only my teachers, there are other teachers in the world, which are struggling. Since then, I started conducting workshops for other
Yeah.
organizations, conducting webinars. I don't know, I can't even count how many webinars and workshops I have done in this period of time.
I'm
So
sure.
I
Yeah.
always wanted to be a teacher trainer,
Mm-hmm.
and to some extent I was.
Right.
And yeah, it means looking into this context, I got connected with Lawson Learning. So I presented for them in 2020 only for one of the Teach Tech workshop, where people from around the world were invited as speaker.
Right.
So I was there as a speaker, and then they approached me to become a mentor. And then my role as a mentor, like school will approach them if they want my services. For example, I have
Mm-hmm.
expertise in setting up primary school, I have
Right.
expertise in teacher training, I have expertise in curriculum development, play based learning, inquiry based learning. So anyone can approach them, they will
Right.
approach me, and all together we'll conduct workshops and some webinars for them. Apart from that, I'm also associated with many other platforms for teacher training. So this
Okay.
it's all about training teachers,
Mm-hmm.
developing schools, giving enhancement programs for a school. So my role is more of a trainer over there.
An overarching trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lastly, what's next for Asnaha Farheen?
Next for me, I'm a very hungry person. There is a hunger for knowledge, you
Yeah.
know. Each day is a new opportunity for me to learn. So in next 5 years, I want to see myself as an IBAN, IB, a member of IB Educator Network. That is a
Okay.
prestigious thing when it comes to IB. So I
Mhm.
have, I moved up in the ladder. So I am into IB for past 10 years, and I
Okay.
joined IB as a clean slate. I had no experience of teaching, I was just a student of MSc. And I moved up in the ladder, and now here I am, having a complete primary school. But now I want to level up myself and move into IB organizations, and I want to become an IB workshop leader and a member of IBAN team. This is what,
Wonderful.
and I have already qualified the level 1. I don't know, I'm yet to hear from them. So
Well,
it's like that.
we
And
certainly
I
hope
want to develop a school for underprivileged student, and
underprivileged
yeah,
students.
and
Okay.
completely it should be of high standards, not a normal school. This is my dream. So I will be working on these two areas.
We wish you all the best, and we wish that you rise up and up the ladder of success.
Thank you. Thank you
And
so
thank
much.
you so much for giving us your valuable time today.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great talking to you, and I'm wishing you all the best to you and your team, because you are doing, a great level of collaboration on a wider stage, bringing so many people, because it is very important to gain perspective before we move ahead, in this journey of learning and teaching.
Thank you
Thank you
for your
so much.
thank you for your kind
Take
words,
care.
and I would
Thank
like
you.
to thank our viewers as well for sticking with us. I'll see you in the next episode of either Education Plus or Change Makers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.